Hey guys, welcome to week 2 of the Young Pagan Circle. I am your Sunday host, Pixie Witch 616, and I am going to make this video this time, and I'm not going to go off any tangents, and I'm going to be done with it because I have made, remade, and made this video again. So, yeah, I've been trying really hard to not watch the other hosts' videos because I don't want to be influenced by anything that anyone has said, and I don't want to leave anything out just because someone else said it. So, that being said, here we go. Magic and media. We have a couple of points to cover with this, and the first one is basically about how young pagans get, I guess, looked down upon or get accused of not being true to their paths because people say they're influenced by movies like Harry Potter and The Craft and things like that. So I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that young people generally are considered to be very easily influenced by things and, like pop culture and, things going on around them. So, therefore, people make that leap. They say, oh, well, this person obviously likes Harry Potter a lot, so that's why they've done this. They want to be like Harry Potter, when it's not usually the case. I like movies like that. I don't think I've seen all the Harry Potter movies, but the ones I've seen I really enjoyed. I guess the first magical type movie I ever saw was The Craft, and I saw that after I started getting into paganism and Wicca and witchcraft when I was about 13. But me coming to this path had nothing to do with a movie. It was the fact that I found genuine solace in something, and I think so many young people are kind of evolving and realizing that that the paths that they have been brought up in sometimes don't make sense to them, and that's not true to them, so they want something else. I don't want to get off into the judgments of other religions, how sometimes they're obviously very judgmental. I think the not wanting to be judged is it's a good factor in why people switch paths sometimes, and they find a place where we're very open with things, and it's not always these movies. Of course, you have the exceptions when people do find these paths because of movies, and that's my next point, but I'll get into that in a minute. But I think usually it's just because people get tired of the same old thing, and it's sad that I guess they're not looked at as being able to think for themselves, that obviously it had to be a movie that influenced you, and it can't just be that you genuinely found something that makes sense to you and that makes you feel complete and makes you want to do better sometimes. It's just sad. So yeah, I think it's also sad that it's just these cases where it's kind of looked down upon. But when you had the movie The Passion of the Christ come out, quite a few years back, you had all kind of people, oh, I found Jesus, I'm converting to Christianity, I'm never going to sin again, I'm not going to do anything wrong, and, it was looked at as just, wonderful. But, you have these movies that are, obviously fictional, that are embellished, that are made for entertainment purposes, and they're a fantasy world that people will connect it to the real paganism, the real witchcraft, things like that, and it it's not the same. It's clearly not the same. Like I said, these movies are so embellished. They're they're fiction. They're just wonderful works of people's imaginations. And, they get demonized. And, you know, it's unfair to the movies. It's unfair to the young people who have to defend themselves. So, yeah, like, I hate that it's you know, come to that, to where, you know, you can't actually find peace within something. We've got to blame something else, unless it's something that we like. You know, we're Christians, so we're glad that people have found Christianity through this movie, The Passion of the Christ. You know, awesome. You know, why can't, you know, people just be left to make up their own minds about things, to explore new options, to find something that makes them happy? But sometimes people just don't want other people to be happy. So, you know, if you're, you know, in the position to where people are, you know, accusing you of, you know, following your path because of a movie, the best I can say is, you know, just brush your shoulder off. Don't worry about it. You know, do what makes you happy. Be true to yourself, and don't worry about what anyone else thinks, because, you know, people that pass judgments like that are very, very often very insecure people within themselves. You know, maybe they're not quite content with their religion, but they're too afraid to, you know, not follow that path. So, I would just say, you know, try not to worry about it. Make jokes about it. Here's an example. Very few people in my everyday life know what I do, and there's a couple of people at work that know, and this one lady, you know, she kind of knows, and, you know, she's okay with it. Like, she's cool. She's, you know, very, you know, cool older lady. She doesn't, you know, pass judgments on me or anything like that. But she was having problems with something one day, and she was like, "Oh, come fix this for me." So I walked over, and I was like, "What's wrong with it?" So she was showing me, and I was like, "Oh, I can fix that easy." She's like, "No, you can't. It's totally broken." And I said, "Heal." You know, just being silly, just being completely silly. And we just looked at it, and I was like, "It didn't work." And she was like, "Go back to school, Harry Potter." Or no, what was it? She said, "Go back to Hogwarts, Harry Potter." And, you know, it was, you know, a joke. It was laughing. She knows that that's not true. But you can, you know, just laugh things off. Don't let people get to you, because then they win. So you win. Don't let them win. Okay, the next point is about the young people that do find, like, paganism and witchcraft and Wicca and things like that because of these movies. I don't personally know anyone that has found, you know, their path because of, like, a movie like that, but if you have, you know, really do your research, because they're not the same. You know, obviously you can't just take a wand and swish it and change someone into, like, a frog or anything like that. Cars don't fly yet. Just do your research and figure out, you know, is it just the, you know, the glitz and glamour and the embellishments of the movie that you're into? Or when you get to, you know, really researching, do you like the message that's being spoken to you? Do you find some peace in it? Do you find solace in this path? If you do, then that's awesome. You know, go for it. But if it's just because of a movie and you get into it and you start studying, and, you know, it's not as simple as it looks in the movies, maybe it's not for you. Maybe not right now anyway. Maybe, you know, just keep studying. Maybe at some point things will start to really make sense. If not, you know, that's fine. You know, you don't have to be a part of this path. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do. I do think that a lot of times people that find it because of a movie or TV show aren't going to necessarily stick around when they start studying, because it is very different. It's going from, you know, total fantasy world to what it is in reality. And the fantasy world is, you know, magical wand, swish it, and, you know, you make things happen. The reality is a lot of study, hard work, dedication, and, you know, putting yourself into it completely and not just expecting like a one to do all the work, because in reality it's us that make the magic happen, and it's not, you know, a wand. So like I said, I'm sure there are people, you know, obviously who find their path due to a movie, and that's, you know, awesome if you get into it and you realize that what the reality of it is, you know, in line with your belief system. You know, it's great. And again, if you get into studying and it's not what you thought it was going to be, that's fine too. And, you know, no harm, no foul. It doesn't hurt to research, you know, anything. Like I said before, I researched many religions from the time I was 13 just because I wanted to understand them better. And that's okay. You know, if you do find this path because of a movie, but, you know, it's not for you because you've studied and, you know, things don't totally, you know, line up with you, you know, you've gained some knowledge, so you've not heard anything. You know, if someone wants to start bashing what we do, you know, you would probably have a little bit of, you know, knowledge to say, well, you know, it's not actually true. You know, it's this, this, and this, and not this, this, and this. But, I don't really know what else to say about it except, you know, just do your research if you're, you know, curious about this path because of a movie or a TV show or a book series, you know, whatever the case may be. Just, you know, do your research and, you know, find out, you know, the reality behind it, because it's not always how they make it out in books and movies and TV shows. They didn't make the books and TV shows and movies, you know, horrible. I remember, like, after Twilight came out, there was, like, a big stink in, like, you know, like, the vampire, like, culture. They were all mad about it. You know, what does that hurt? You know, these movies are, and books, you know, they're not real. They're, you know, works of, you know, someone's imagination, and it's for entertainment, and it's not actually, like, attacking, like, a culture. You know, Stephanie Meyer wasn't, like, attacking the, actual, like, vampire subculture. She was, you know, just writing a book. She was writing something that was entertaining for people. And that's what, you know, like J.K. Rowling did with Harry Potter. It was just entertainment. It was just, you know, wonderful world of fantasy. And there's nothing wrong with fantasy. You know, it sometimes makes life more interesting, you know. We go through the same mundane things in everyday life, then you want, you know, an escape from that sometimes, and, you know, to get lost in Hogwarts and, you know, be on the beach summoning up, what was the god's name they were summoning up in the craft? Manol. You know, sometimes you want to, you know, believe in things like that, but they're not always the case, so just make sure you really do study. And again, if you're one of these that are being accused of not being true to your path, or, you know, whatever because of a movie, don't worry about it. They're just people passing judgments. It's not something that's probably going to change anytime soon. People are just like that. So, you know, you just stay strong and do what's right for you and live your life. That's all you can do. So, yeah, like I said, I don't have a whole lot else to say about this. If I didn't make any sense with certain parts, you know, please feel free to let me know, and I will clarify. Just leave some comments, and I'll check back and see if anyone was kind of confused about something I said. You know, I'd love to hear feedback. If anyone, you know, is in this position, you know, I'd love to hear that comment, or, you know, whatever. Hope you enjoyed. Stick around for week 3. I actually have the topic, but I can't think of what it is right now. But yeah, stick around for week 3, guys. Okay, blessed be.